Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing very well. Before I give you a quick Friday update, just with what the market's been up to since we last spoke. Played out really well so far. So basically, what I'll go through is just my thoughts on Bitcoin over the weekend, triggers for new positions, what we've seen today, and yeah, just go through a few altcoins. So just a few updates for you. So to start off with, so as of yesterday, we did get that bounce off the 67, sorry 68.9 region I talked about, the order block, as we discussed. I said, I was counting this down to 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially the fifth wave down now. I sort of mentioned down to the 677 sort of region. So in terms of plays, I mean what we have seen today to bring up the volume profile of this range. So again, point of control remains at 6'8". Because the order block is just below us, I'm looking for us to dip down below that into the 677 region. So it's an area I'm expecting us to wick down to. What we did see today, so where it's highlighted on the top here, so this is called the value area high, and literally we wicked into it and rejected. So it just shows we are bearish. Again, what I would have liked to see today is this ABC sort of up to the 718 region, and then we can sort of short it up here back down. But it seems like today potentially we're going to see that move sort of to continue further down. But the trigger's there, so if we do get, so we had the rejection here. Again, it's just the order block low, so you saw the wick into. So if we do get, so if you were to long, I would wait for us to reclaim this level here, and again you're going to be seeing moves up to, it's not big moves, but it's a percentage gain. So up to 719, up to 724. If we extend beyond that, ideally we'll look to the 73 sort of region, and then again we look for shorts from here, to move it back down. But what we could see today, which if the bearish strength continues, it looks more likely. We're going to see that move down to the 68, 67, 7 region. I'm hoping we'll see something like this. So you get the wave 1 there, wave 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's not clean, but again, you get the fifth wave to extend down, even further down to the lows, the 66 region, because that is the point of control here of the range. That's a lot of like liquidity sat here and transacted value, so a nice basis for potential accumulation range in the short term, where we then spike up to get that three-wave leg up to then re-short down. But if we fail to reclaim 71, we're going to be moving down to those. So at minimum 68 down to the 66 sort of region, and potentially even below that. If we get news this weekend, about the war at the moment, that could trigger the cascade down. Any oil restrictions may impact it. Any sort of fundamental changes in the world, it's going to affect crypto. So yeah, as it stands, that's my thoughts. So again, a long trigger if we get above 71 up to max the 73 region. I'll look for shorts there back down. Or we dip from here if we fail to reclaim that down to the 78, down to the not 78, sorry, 68 down to the 66 sort of region. And again, we could move further down if we don't hold those lows. So don't put limit orders, just put alerts on. So yeah, so we've not done much today. We did reject from the resistance zone I talked about yesterday. We pumped from the lows here, which was really good. So there's a nice scalp if anyone took that yesterday. But yeah, in terms of any moves on Bitcoin, that's what I look for at the moment. So if I look at Ethereum, probably a similar situation. Yeah, it's more bearish. I probably will end up shorting this in a minute, to be fair. So you got a three wave up, you're going to get continuation down. So I think Ethereum today, if I had to put a bet on, down to 2064, potentially down to 2000. So if this is the case, if we do fail to get any movement back up above 2155, it's going to be a short down to the, as a very minimum, 2084, 2063, and 2000. And it's just a swing lows. You've got liquidity maybe sat here. You can reverse at any point. You have to wait for the reactions and make the plays based off them. No one's a mind reader. There's nothing stopping us from just shooting up here, but technically it doesn't look likely that the bears are in control, and I do favour that as the top before we get new lows. So yeah, in terms of the range itself, let's have a look. So point of control again sits at 1980, so another potential sort of bounce area. The value area high sits 2112. So again, we bounced off this region. Nice confidence with the order block here. So again, if we lose this low, you could short it down then as a play. So something like this would be what I'd be looking for. Just to sort of show it. So a few of my friends I've sort of discussed this afternoon, actually, and this morning. Yeah, got a few friends. I've got Tony. I've got a few other guys on Twitter you may have heard of. Yeah, so if you're looking down to something like that, you lose it, on the hour time frame, 4 hour. I like to zoom in to get a better entry, but if we start losing the 2115 region, shoot below. If we get a retest above, as long as we stay below that level, because you don't want to start reclaiming this sort of loss region here, we can then short down to 2056, 1910, so 1990. And on the flip side, if we can reclaim again this sort of level here, so we get above that, you can then long up to the 2260 region. So yeah, there's a couple of plays there to watch out. We're at the point of control of the range now on the lower time frames. If we're rejecting it, yes, this is bearish. Excuse me. But yeah, technically it doesn't look strong at all. The volume was kicking in, and again, if we flip above this level, that's a long all day. Because as it stands, it's a lower high. If we can get above that, you've got a change in market structure. So if we get something like that again, you're reclaiming that range low, and you can long it up to the next order block here. So you fill in these inefficiencies, potentially up to this level here. But again, I do think if we do get that little pump, it's going to be a short opportunity. Altcoins, same situation. Again, bearish. The spikes up a tenning, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low. Again, you've got the 5 wave, but I mean, it looks horrendous. So again, XRP potentially moves down to the 1.33 region. Solana, they're all going to look the same. I mean, what we could potentially end up, if we can hold these sort of levels here. So again, the 88 region is going to be potential long opportunity. I mean, I'd wait for any sort of moves. I wouldn't short here, for example. I wouldn't long here. I'll just wait for the triggers to come to you. I do also want to show you, so I do look at the USDT market cap dominance. So if this is bullish, then crypto will drop. If this is bearish, then crypto will pump. So basically, as it stands, we're seeing a nice reaction off the daily order block, as you can see here. Nice little cluster, nice reaction. This you could see is the range low of this range here. So again, we're starting to climb above that. If this pumps the new highs, Bitcoin is going to drop to the new lows. If we end up pumping, I do expect us to get up here to the sort of 9.5%. At that point, Bitcoin will be down to the 58,000 region. But to be fair, I'd rather Bitcoin do that. The quicker we can get this drop, the better it is. The quicker we can get some sort of big bull run. Well, not bull run, it'd be a mid rally, a mid cycle pump. Again, I went through a couple of videos ago, so do check it out. But it'd be a good 50, 100% move. So I am waiting for that patiently. But ideally, just don't get chopped up in this range. Just trade it. What I recommend is maximum 5% per trade of your your portfolio. That's probably the sweet spot. My stop losses, I tend to try and aim for like 1-2% maximum. So on a 5% position size, 1-2% loss, you're not losing anything. And then basically, you may lose more in terms of risk, in terms of sort of trade amount. So you could lose like 4 small losses per trade, but that one you catch with the 5-10% moves, you're going to be exceeding your losses quite quick. But yeah, to recap, so if we do end up losing, where do we bounce basically? So you've got the naked point of control down to 58, so that's the first region, all the way down to the weekly level, sort of 54. Because that does sit right above the order block down, or the range low, I do think if we do lose 58, we're going to wick down to this order block here, so it's going to be the 53 region. That's where I'll be looking to load up on my spot positions. As it stands, I don't have any, to be transparent. It's just for me a bit too risky to start loading up now. This is a corrective structure. Why would you load up now on spot? What makes more sense for me is just to wait. If we get something like that, you can buy down here with a bit more confidence, and worst case, ride it up, 50, 70, 90%, and then we trade it back down. For me, the ultimate buy opportunity is going to be, it sounds crazy, I know. If we don't get it, fine. But if we do get it, we've got a plan in place. It's going to be down sort of 36, potentially down to the 31 region. And again, it sounds crazy, but not many expected this drop after here. Here everyone was saying new all-time highs, and it was a crowded trade. As soon as we came back in the range, I was short, straight back down. It was easy. And yeah, basically, whenever you see a crowded trade, you want to sort of think it's the contrarian, the opposite. Because if most people are doing one thing, the market will generally give us a different sort of direction. And it's just structure. I mean, this was always a bearish structure. As soon as you had the 5-wave count, it's your 5th wave. Back below the range was your confluence or confirmation. We were going back down to new lows. And yeah, you just wait for that bottom structure. So the first bounce, the higher low, and then yeah, straight back up. So yes, this is what I'm looking for. So again, bearish. Ultimately, again, I do it. Ideally, we'll be looking at new lows to form down to the worst case of 60 sort of 6 region before a bounce. I would love to see a bounce, really would, but we'll see how the weekend goes. Weekend low liquidity. I will try and keep position sizes small on the weekends because fake outs do happen. The market moves easier because there's less participants on the weekends. So just bear that in mind. But yeah, I'll be sure to get some more updates out as well. Probably Sunday be my next update. But again, thanks for the kind words, guys. The comments have been brilliant. We have got the free Discord group. I'll be getting that active. It is active now, but once there's more people involved, and we'll get some good conversations going. I'll start getting some charts uploaded. And if you do want, obviously, more charts, more calls, more just a daily direction of what I think is going to happen, do check out the paid group, the weeks group. It's a fantastic group. We share updates daily, and if you struggle with like direction in the market, I do generally call it quite well. Got a good team behind me, and we just like to help each other out. So if that sounds good to you, I'll see you in there. And yeah, have a good rest of your Friday, guys. Take care, and see you in the next one.